Developing this afternoon, the Manhattan grand jury hearing evidence in the hush money case against former President Donald Trump is not meeting today.
The grand jury will reconvene as early as tomorrow. It's expected to consider an indictment against Trump for his role in payments made to adult film star Stormy Daniels during the 2016 presidential campaign. A decision on charges is expected any day. Trump denies the affair and all wrongdoing.
And Donald Trump is a candidate for president in 2024. His airplane remains at Palm Beach International Airport in West Palm Beach. We have seen some activity around the plane today, but no sign of the president. Trump has called on supporters to protest his possible arrest. We've seen Trump supporters over the past couple of days outside of his Palm Beach residence, Mar-a-Lago. Right now, our Steve King joining us from the airport in West Palm.
And Steve, what are experts saying would be the next steps if Trump is indicted?
Well, Jay, Tiffany, let's take a look at former President Trump and current 2024 presidential candidate plane right now. You can see that the doors are open, both on the cabin and on the engines of the plane. That plane has been there since Monday afternoon, and at this point there's no word on whether President Trump has been indicted, but experts say that if Trump is indicted, he'll likely surrender to authorities, but the public wouldn't necessarily find out that he's indicted the same day, and he would not have to go turn himself into New York authorities right away. Former DOJ Criminal Division trial attorney Richard Serafini says it appears the grand jury is at or near the end of its presentation, but it's possible the public would not find out about a possible indictment until Trump actually turns himself into authorities in New York. Serafini says a surrender deal could result in Trump turning himself in next week, but everything still depends on if and when there's an indictment.
What you're really looking for is some indication, him flying to New York, a leak coming out of either his camp or the prosecution camp. But there probably will not be anything official in terms of an announcement. And at this point, I think everybody's pretty much just waiting to see what happens next.
Now, experts say if Trump is indicted and surrenders, he likely will not spend time in jail or be forced by the New York police to wear handcuffs, though he would have to be fingerprinted, get his mugshot taken, and appear before a judge in criminal court. Now, it's also possible that Trump would charter a different plane if he were to fly to New York, but it's important to note that Trump does have a 2024 presidential campaign appearance in Texas this weekend. So if this plane were to leave PBIA, it's unclear exactly where it would be headed. Reporting live in West Palm Beach, Steve King, WPBF 25 News.